and darling, stand by me.
Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married at last.
Do you remember the song that played at your wedding? It may have been more than 50 years ago, but all it takes is a few familiar notes to bring you right back to that day. The day every eye in the room was on you. The day the person you loved was waiting at the end of the aisle. The day a brand new chapter of your life began. For millions of brides in the 1960s, there were certain songs that felt almost essential for that unforgettable moment. But this isn't just a list of wedding songs. These 10 records tell the story of an entire romance, from the first spark of attraction to the first kiss to promises of forever, and finally the moment two people say, I do. So as we count them down, see how many of these songs you remember from your own journey. Let's begin.
This magic moment.
Number 1, this magic moment, The Drifters. Every love story has a beginning, a moment, a glance. A feeling that tells you something in your life has just changed. That's exactly what this magic moment captures. What's interesting is that this song isn't about a relationship that lasts for years. It's about a few brief seconds. The moment when two people realize there's something special between them.
Look in your eyes, sweeter than wine. Everything I want, I have. Whenever I hope.
Listeners in 1960 understood that feeling very well because almost everyone has experienced it at some point. A moment when the rest of the room seems to disappear and only one person remains. That's what makes this song the perfect opening chapter for our love story.
Your lips are close to mine, will last forever. Softer than the summer night. Everything I want.
Number 2, Then He Kissed Me, The Crystals. If this magic moment was the first spark, Then He Kissed Me is when everything starts to feel real. The song tells the story of a young romance through the eyes of a girl who falls in love one step at a time. They meet, they hold hands, they go on dates, and eventually, that first kiss arrives. It sounds simple, but that's exactly why millions of people connected with it. Because for so many listeners, it felt familiar. What makes the song so special is the way it's told. There's no heartbreak, no drama, no tearful goodbye, just the joy of watching a relationship grow a little stronger with every new memory. Listening to it feels like flipping through the most treasured pages of your own love story.
Don't know much about history. Don't know much why.
Number 3, Wonderful World, Sam Cooke. By now, the relationship has begun. The butterflies are real. The excitement is real. But Wonderful World reminds us of something even more important. Love isn't about being perfect. In this song, Sam Cooke admits that he doesn't know much about history, science, or geography. But there's one thing he's absolutely sure of. He loves her. That's what made the song so charming.
But I do know that I love you. What a wonderful world this would be.
It wasn't about grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It was about the simple realization that when you truly care about someone, everything else suddenly seems less important. And for countless young couples in the 1960s, that feeling couldn't have been more relatable. But admiration is only the beginning. The next song takes us to the moment when someone becomes the center of your world.
Don't know much biology. And if this one could be with you, what a wonderful world this would be. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day.
Number 4, My Girl, The Temptation. There comes a point in every love story when the relationship stops feeling new and starts feeling essential. That's the feeling captured in My Girl. From the very first note, the song radiates happiness. The singer isn't talking about a perfect life. He's talking about how one person can make life feel perfect. Suddenly, cloudy days don't seem so bad. Problems don't seem so big. Everything feels brighter simply because she's there.
My girl, talking about I don't need no more.
That's why My Girl became one of the most beloved love songs of its era. It celebrates something every couple hopes to find, the feeling that you've found someone who makes every day better. And once you feel that way, it's hard to imagine life without them.
When it's cold outside, I've got so much honey, the bees in the way she woos me.
Number 5, Something, The Beatles. But love has a funny way of changing as time goes on. The excitement of new romance slowly becomes something deeper. That's where Something enters our story. Unlike many love songs of the era, this one isn't focused on beauty or passion. Instead, it's about an unexplainable connection. The singer can't quite put his feelings into words. He only knows that there's something about her that keeps drawing him closer.
You're asking me when my love grows. Don't want to leave her now. You know I believe in her.
And perhaps that's why the song resonates so strongly. Because the most important things in life often can't be explained. They can only be felt. By this point, our story has moved far beyond attraction. This is the moment when someone begins to imagine forever.
You stick around now, it may show. Something in the way she knows. But I can't help falling in.
Number 6. Can't Help Falling in Love, Elvis Presley. Sooner or later, every great love story reaches a turning point. The moment when you stop wondering if you're in love and simply accept that you are. That's the heart of Can't Help Falling in Love. Elvis doesn't fight the feeling, he doesn't question it, he surrenders to it completely.
Like a river flows surely to the sea. I can't help falling in.
The song speaks to something many couples understand. Sometimes love doesn't arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it arrives quietly and grows stronger every day until it becomes impossible to ignore. That's why this song has remained a wedding favorite for generations. Because at its core, it's about embracing the future with someone you love. And that's exactly where our story is headed next.
To the sea, darling, so it goes. And darling, stand by me.
Number 7, Stand By Me, Ben E. King. Falling in love is one thing, staying together is something else entirely. That's what makes Stand By Me such an important chapter in our story. Beneath its unforgettable melody lies a simple promise: no matter what happens, don't leave my side. The song isn't about perfect circumstances. It's about commitment, about facing uncertainty together.
And darling, I won't cry. Honey, I won't cry. Whenever you're in trouble, stand by me.
And perhaps that's why it continues to resonate decades later. Every marriage eventually faces challenges. Every couple encounters moments of doubt or difficulty, but the strongest relationships are built on the decision to stay. With this song, love becomes more than a feeling, it becomes a promise.
I won't shed a tear just as long. And I love, and baby, oh, my love.
Number 8, Unchained Melody, The Righteous Brothers. Of course, every love story faces obstacles. Sometimes it's distance, sometimes it's time. Sometimes it's simply the fear of being apart from the person you love. That's the emotion that fills every note of Unchained Melody. The song is built around longing, around missing someone so deeply that every day apart feels longer than the last.
I need your love.
It's one of the most emotional songs on this list because it reminds us that love isn't only measured by happy moments. It's also measured by what we're willing to endure for one another. And after overcoming those challenges, only one destination remains.
I've hungered for your to the open arms of the sea.
Going to the chapel and we're gonna get.
Number 9, Chapel of Love, The Dixie Cups. At last the day has arrived, the waiting is over, the planning is done. And now it's time to walk down the aisle. Few songs capture the joy of a wedding day better than Chapel of Love. From the very first line, The excitement is impossible to miss. This isn't a song about wondering what the future holds. It's a song about celebrating the future that's finally here.
Gee, I really love you and we're gonna get married.
That's why it became one of the defining wedding songs of the 1960s. It sounds exactly like what it represents: pure happiness, pure anticipation, pure celebration. But before our story comes to an end, there's one final song waiting for us.
Spring is here, the sky is blue, bells will ring, the sun will shine. At last.
Number 10, At Last, Etta James. Every love story hopes to arrive at this moment, the moment when the search is over, the waiting is over, the uncertainty is over. That's what makes At Last such a powerful ending to our countdown. Etta James isn't singing about the excitement of new love. She's singing about fulfillment, about finally finding the person who makes everything feel complete. Few songs have captured that feeling more beautifully.
The night I looked at you, my lonely days are over.
And that's why it has remained one of the most beloved wedding songs ever recorded. For countless couples, it wasn't just another song playing in the background. It was the soundtrack to a dream finally coming true. And after following this journey from the first spark to the wedding day, there could be no more fitting ending than those two simple words: at last.
Life is like a song. I found a thrill to press my.
And just like that, our love story has reached the altar. From that first magical moment to the first kiss to the promises that followed, these songs became the soundtrack to some of life's most unforgettable memories. For many of you, they may be more than just songs. They may be the sound of a wedding day, a first dance, a familiar face waiting at the end of the aisle, or a moment that changed everything. Now we'd love to hear from you. Which of these songs brings back the strongest memories and was your wedding song on this list? Share your story in the comments below. If you enjoyed this trip back in time, please give the video a like and subscribe for more timeless music countdowns. And in our next video, we'll be counting down the songs that defined the first dance for an entire generation. Until then, thank you for watching, and thank you for keeping these memories alive.